The largest country on Earth, stretching across 11 time zones, is now facing a crisis so severe that even its rulers can no longer hide it. Russia, once self-proclaimed as an energy superpower, is being struck at its very core by an unexpected enemy: the collapse of its own fuel supply. Across the nation, endless lines form at gas stations. Airports are running short of aviation fuel. Farmers can no longer operate their tractors. In the cities, cars sit abandoned, their drivers furious at empty pumps. The reason? 4 of Russia's biggest oil refineries have been shut down, not temporarily, but indefinitely. Experts inside the country warn that some may never return to full capacity. A shock to the energy system, triggered by Ukrainian strikes. Drones and long-range missiles, capable of reaching targets up to 3,000 kilometers away, have turned Russia's vast size into a weakness rather than a shield. And the consequences extend far beyond the battlefield. In just weeks, gasoline prices inside Russia have surged by 50%. In panic, the Kremlin banned all fuel exports, cutting off billions in revenue. At home, the scenes resemble the Soviet collapse of the 1990s. Long lines, angry citizens, and growing despair. But the most dangerous impact is being felt in Moscow and St. Petersburg. In these symbolic cities, where the elites and decision-makers live, fuel shortages carry a political risk. It is here, more than in remote provinces, that anger can turn into protest. For years, Russia showcased its oil industry as a pillar of strength. But that strength rested on a hidden weakness. Nearly 80% of its refinery equipment was imported from Europe and the United States. Valves, turbines, control systems, all foreign-made. Under Western sanctions, these critical parts can no longer be replaced. Each missile strike destroys technology that Moscow cannot reproduce domestically. Russian engineers are now forced into a desperate game, dismantling one facility to patch another. But this cannibalization only accelerates the collapse. Production falls, exports are frozen, and the Russian people are left to bear the cost. For families, soaring fuel prices are not a minor inconvenience as they might be in the United States or Europe. The median Russian salary is only 20% of the American average. What elsewhere might feel like a burden quickly becomes an economic tragedy in Russia. And the crisis strikes at the military as well. Fighter jets, tanks, and supply trucks all rely on refined fuel. Without it, Russia's military capacity erodes day by day. For centuries, Russia relied on geography as its ultimate defense. But in the age of drones and precision missiles, distance is no longer protection. Refineries thousands of kilometers from Ukraine can be hit, disabled, and taken offline. Russia's sheer size has transformed from an asset into a liability. This fuel crisis reveals the fragility of the system. For decades, the Kremlin projected an image of stability, of endless energy wealth, of a nation too big to fail. But long gas lines, skyrocketing prices, and rationing now tell a different story. History offers a warning. The Soviet Union collapsed not in battle, but under the weight of economic failure and public discontent. Today, Russia faces a similar pattern. What was meant to showcase military power instead exposes internal weakness. The once eternal energy empire is now cracking. And for the first time in decades, the world sees that it is possible to strike, weaken, and perhaps even dismantle Russia's fuel empire. The gasoline crisis gripping Russia is not just a logistical issue. It is a warning sign, a reminder that an empire unable to provide even basic fuel for its own people risks collapse, not from outside pressure, but from within.